What's up, everybody? This is your girl CC, Where It Begins magazine, and my co-host is out this week, but we have a special guest on the line. I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dana Macc, and I am here with Cece. And you'll learn more about me through the questions she's going to ask. And so I'm just ready to, let you guys know a little bit more about what I do, where I'm located, how you can follow me, and then be a part of the movement.
Yes, and thanks for coming on our platform. But let's start. Where are you from, and is it that you do?
So I am from, I guess it's easier to say Los Angeles, California, but some of you probably heard of Pasadena. uh, Thanks to Biggie and Dr. Dre. And so I am several things. The main thing that I am is I'm a Black woman, and I'm a Black woman. I'm a businesswoman, and so shout out to all the other Black women out there who are doing their thing. We got to keep supporting each other in that way. Even you, CC. So I am
Thank
an
you.
educator first. I've been an educator for over 25 years. I am currently a author. My first book just came out for children on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Romans. It'll be on Apple and at Target and Walmart real soon. Those are a little bit slower to get the titles put into their system. And the story is about a little girl. She's an 8-year-old. She's just fiery and, like most Black women are. She's got that gusto, she's emotional and intelligent. And the themes in the book are on bullying and diversity, inclusion, and awareness around just being mindful that there are others who have special treasures, and it doesn't always have to be silver or gold, but things that are just really dear to their heart, and how she stands up to the unruly pirates to make that um, fact known. And so, yeah, I think for any educator or any parent or anybody, it's even a good story for grown-ups when you read it, because the theme and the way the story folds out, it kind of helps you to think about, well, what is it that makes my heart sing? Or what are the treasures of my heart that doesn't have to be that something like what you love and appreciate doesn't have to be something that I love and appreciate, but that doesn't mean that we don't support each other in that uplifting of what it is that, makes your heart shine.
Oh, awesome and congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow.
I'm also a
Well, who?
mindset coach. I'm a mindset coach. So basically, what is a mindset coach? I really focus on neuroscience and how you use your own brain to change your habits, and just being aware of the traps that the ego sets, the limiting beliefs, the things that have been we've been inundated with as we've been socialized through our own families, and things that don't serve us, what we can do using our own mind and our own brain to start anew with fresh micro habits to get to those larger goals and the successes that we really want. I'm also a yoga instructor. I teach yoga and mindfulness meditation, and I'm a speaker. And those are the main things that I am.
You're just a jack of all trades. Wow.
Mhm.
Yes. But how did you get to where you are? Who motivated you, or what motivated you to get to where you are today?
So growing up here in Pasadena, I went to schools all out here in Pasadena, but all of my teachers were always like, I can't tell you like one bad experience that I ever had in school. And the only bad experience that I did have was algebra, and it was just getting really difficult for me. And the bad experience wasn't the teacher, it was just me having to work a little harder to understand it. But I remember all my teachers, and they were just all like, my second grade teacher, she, still lives here in Pasadena. And my mom and her sister are really good friends, and I'm still friends with her. And so she was actually my second and third grade teacher. So just that motivation and watching them, so that's what made me become a teacher myself. So I have a credential for general education. I also have a credential for special education and with a specialization in autism. So that's what motivated me on that forefront. Then I have a aunt, my mom's oldest sister, here in Pasadena in the 70s. Her and her friends opened up an Afrocentric school for Black children that taught the tenets of Pan-Africanism and our Black history, focusing on leaders like Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, um, and just really having a curriculum and an education that fostered to Black children. And so I came up in that. And so it was kind of inevitable that I would go in that direction. But as far as the leadership aspect that got me to what I'm doing now, just watching people that my aunt would have me around. I have another aunt who was the um, one of the presidents of the Beverly Hills chapter of the NAACP. She and her group of friends started the Image Awards.
Wow.
So I didn't mention that I was a publicist, and I'm moving away from that. I started a PR company because my aunt would always throw me into the fold of what they were doing on that level. And I was like, you know what? I need to get paid for this because you keep putting me situations. And listen, so that's how I created that company. And so just being around that and then watching Black excellence, you know, just being able to be right in the middle of it, that's what got me to where I am now. And just having a an inner being motivated from the inside, and then just wanting to be able to serve others, because when you come up in that and you watch your family members being there, you know, for others, and my grandmother was that all day. She raised all her 8 children that way, just serving others. That's where that came from. And then the key, one of the keys to success is the more, it's like a reciprocating relationship. When you give to others, you receive more back. And so you don't put the money first, you put the gratitude, and then you put the fact that you're serving others. And that's how I got to where I am. And just this relentless drive to just be a pirate in all things, you know?
Wow.
Be a pretty
Well, the
pirate.
good part is that you have a great support system. Like your aunts seem like they are very motivated into getting you into where you need to be. So that's an awesome thing to have family support.
Exactly. You are absolutely correct. I was just talking about that the other day, that I was telling Chrissy that actually this morning, it's good to have family support, but when you have people who are not part of your family that really recognize your hard work, your struggles, your tenacity, your resilience, and they want to be a part of that light, I wouldn't exchange them just to have my family. You know what I mean? Because the people that support you are the people that support you. You know, I have a friend, he just posted on his LinkedIn, he's the vice president over at Hulu for all of for product design. And he just resigned on Monday.
Wow.
He wrote a blog and it's on his LinkedIn. So he's got like over 15,000 people there. And then on his Facebook. And he's also an author, but he put why he was leaving and, you know, all these positive things. He's a really he's a good man. He's the husband of my friend. And he listed, and the books that I'm currently reading, and he listed The Pirate Who Loves Flowers. And he put a link.
Awesome.
Right? And he put a link, and then there was another book there, you know, and he's a businessman, you know what I mean? He's into, you know, the UX and UI and all the design aspects, but he actually helped me. There was a young lady you're in Atlanta, right, Cece?
Yes.
There's a young lady in Atlanta, I won't say her name, but she's a published illustrator, and I wanted her so bad. Oh, I wanted her. And so I'm a member of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And so she was in there and I found her. And so reached out to her and talking to her, and she was like, okay, in May, okay, in July. And then it just kept, you know, kind of extending out. So John emailed her for me, like, you know, we're trying to do this. And then when she got back with me, she still said no. But what I'll tell you, the blessing in that is that my illustrator, he's in Ghana, and I got to show you just so you can see some of the work that they do. So we met on Instagram, and I've never we've never met face to face. It's just, video calls and things like that. We've never met. And so the way he helped to bring the story to life, I am absolutely happy that the other young lady denied me, So
And that's what they say. When one door closed, a big door opens for you. So
yes,
blessings to you.
thank you.
That wasn't for you, and that's why that wasn't for you.
And I wanted her so bad because she's a great illustrator. Like I said, she's got this is probably now her third book. And then the last time when we reached out to her, she was like, "You got to talk to my agent." What?
Like, we've been doing all this, and now you tell me I got to talk to your agent.
I was so hurt. See, I was so hurt. I had to go back and regroup. And then just one day, I wasn't even looking for an illustrator on Instagram. And then one day, just down my feed, Nils, like, how you're in the explore page, and he was there. And I was like, wow, I wonder if he, does illustrations for a book. And so that started this relationship between the two of us. And, now we have a book together.
Well, congratulations. And I'm gonna have to go and support and get that book because I'm a bookworm too. And I know you said it's more for the kids and the adults, so I love those kind of books.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely a message in there. And there's some, because I'm a hip hop head to the heart, there's some little hip hop references in the book as well, but I won't give it away. You got to go get it, and then you'll see. You'll laugh.
Okay, so once we get off, I definitely support and get one so I can get an autographed copy.
Most definitely. This is actually one that I've got more over there, but this one is being autographed. A young lady, shout out to Barbara Love. She bought this for her family member, and she's in Miami, right? So I'm here in LA. So the little girl, she's in LA. So I'm gonna sign it, and I'm gonna deliver it to her, and they don't even know that I'm gonna show up with the book. Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. See, there's blessings coming your way. Blessings. Well, I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited. It ain't even my book, and I feel so excited because of the story.
Exactly. I mean, once you read it, you're like, oh my God, did she really write that? What?
Yes. But I want to go into yoga.
Yes.
What made you want to get in yoga? What does yoga do for the body?
Okay, so I'll start with the first question. What made me get into yoga, Cece? A bad breakup. And it was not in it. I won't say I broke down. I was becoming, right? So I had to go through that. And so I didn't understand what was happening and why were we separating. And I needed something to help me understand it, because from my idea of what was going on, I thought we were fine, but we absolutely weren't. We absolutely were not. And so, and we're cool now. He bought the book for his kids, so we good. But this was in '99, and so I was like, I need something just to help me. So I was going from churches and going to bookstores and reading books on self-help and just trying to figure out what was taking place. And so I was like, I want to try yoga, and I knew the benefits of it, but I hadn't really delved into it. And so I started practicing online first with Denise Austin. She would do some yoga, but she was mainly more Pilates and exercising. And then I found Steve Ross on, remember Oxygen? That was the first channel Oprah had, but on another station, it was on cable, but it was the Oxygen channel. And so he had a show called Inhale. And so I loved it. So the yoga he did, it would be set to Kirk Franklin and Heavy D and the Boys, like music like that. And this is
Oh.
like a 6 foot tall white man. I love him. Oh my God, I love him. And he had a brother that was on there, and it was just this group of people, and they would come on. I think it was like 10 in the morning, right? Maybe a little earlier, but
Okay.
you just had this whole following, and you would hear like Mustang Sally. Yeah, you would be doing yoga to like music like that. So I was like, I like him. I like him. So for years and years, I watched until I think like 2010, they went off the air. And so I have a sister, she's a producer, she worked for a television station. And so she, my mom would tape them and DVR them, and then we recorded them, and then she put them on a disc for me. But you can see him on YouTube now. And so fast forward. So then there was another young lady before I get into that story. Her name is Robin Downs, and she has yoga flavor. And so I was listening to Steve Harvey one morning here in LA, and he was interviewing her, and she was like, my studios, is in, on La Brea and like West Hollywood. And so I went, and I would go every Friday. I would drag my cousin, I would drag my sister, and we would go. And so she had her yoga flavor. So it's hatha yoga, but that was, her version of it. And she would play like neo soul, like India Ari, and she would play like D'Angelo.
Mm.
She would play Lauren Hill. She would play like all these neo soul artists. And so I was like, I'm digging this. And we were done. He would give us this tea, and it was just so delicious. And so between Steve Ross and Robin Downs, that was my first interactions with yoga. And so what it did, it helped you to really regulate your nervous system from any trauma that you're experiencing, teach
Mhm.
you how to breathe, because most of us don't know how to breathe. We're really breathing from our chest cavity when we should be breathing from our diaphragm, right? And so,
Mhm.
what does that do for you? It helps you to bring your body back into what we call homeostasis. So, our nervous systems, when we experience any trauma or something, that an adverse, like childhood experience or an adverse adult experience, sometimes our nervous systems can become um, inundated with those sensations, and now it only operates in fight or flight, right? Like it's,
Mhm.
think about it like a dog was chasing you or something like that. And so your body just operates like that normally, but that's not where you need to be. That's not the balance of your body. So what yoga and
Mm.
even breath work can help you do is your nervous system, just like your brain, can be changed, right? But if you don't know these things, then you're just thinking like this is normal for me, and you're operating from that standpoint instead of understanding that you should always be in rest and repair, because digestion is a major part of what your body does. And 70% of your digestion, of your immune system, is in your gut, right?
Mhm.
So even learning how to breathe, there's an important nerve in your body called the vagus nerve. Not where the
Mm.
crap tables are,
I
but
got you.
VAGUS, and that the vagus nerve touches every major organ in your body. Just think of like a freeway system that touches all the organs in your body.
Mm.
So when you regulate your vagus nerve through yoga, through meditation, through breath work, then it helps your body to be able to basically relax and be in rest and repair. So that's when your body can heal itself, right?
Okay.
That's where your body can be optimum in optimum working condition. And so back to the story. So that trauma that I experienced and that adverse adult experience kind of made me go towards yoga. And so it's been helpful for me in that regard. And so fast forward, Russell Simmons opened a yoga studio in West
Mhm.
Hollywood called Tantras. And
Yeah.
so I was going, I went a couple times with Chrissy, our mutual friend. And one, I think Father's Day, he had Steve Ross there. So remember, I've been watching Steve Ross the whole time on TV,
Right.
and I could have seen him. He had a studio in Brentwood, and I could have driven over there and seen him, but I didn't. Brentwood's not very close to Pasadena, and I didn't really see the need because I have a yoga studio here where I actually became certified with Nader Shigagi, and so he was there, and I was just like ogling at the man. And so, I mean, because it's like when you watch him for, I've watched him for years, you know? And so I got to talk to him and Russell, and I had Russell's book, and then I had a book that Steve had recommended on one of the shows. Like one of the shows, he talked about this book about
Right.
about consciousness. And so I got a picture with them. I had tears like coming down my eyes. It was just because I got Russell Simmons on one side, and then I've got Steve Ross on the other side, and they're friends, and he's here on Father's Day doing this talk. And so it was just so overwhelming. And so Russell ended up posting the picture on his Instagram for Father's Day. It was dope. And
Oh.
right, and I didn't. I'll tell you a funnier story. I didn't know it was there, right? And my ex called me, and he was like, "I see your friend posted you on his Instagram, huh?" He was like, "Stop playing." I was like, "What do you mean, stop playing?" He was like, "Russell Simmons has you on his Instagram." I was like, "Shut up! Are you serious?" And I pulled it up, and sure enough, it's me, Russell, and Steve Ross, and I'm holding Russell's book, and I'm holding the book that Steve Ross had suggested, and I just got this big old Kool-Aid smile on my face. But I have to tell you, Cece, I was in heaven. I was perfect
But do
heaven.
you see the connection there? The ex made you do the meditation to listen to him to get to Russell and all connected together. And then he ended up calling you.
Never thought about it like that. Wow, look at you over there making connections for me. Wow.
Yeah, because that's what made you do the meditation
That
and
is what
listen to
met
him
girl.
too.
I'm as grown as but and we're cool, and shout out to him. Shout out to him. Through all of that, and then becoming more enlightened and moving from a state of pure consciousness, which is just your God consciousness, I was able
Mhm.
to heal heal that relationship where we're cool. And a lot of people don't get it or understand it. And that's fine because it's not for everybody. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody,
Yeah.
But from what I've learned and just being in that space of just loving kindness, and then knowing what it is to be fully ensconced in the 8 limbs of yoga and what that means for your life. That's how I was able to do that.
Okay.
It's pretty
Okay.
powerful. Pretty powerful.
Yes. Yes. Because
But
I always wanted to ask someone that's in yoga, like, how do yoga and meditation mix together? You know, how does
so
that transform together?
so when you look at the 8 limbs of yoga, one of the limbs is yoga and one of the limbs is meditation. So
Okay.
it's part of it. So it's also in the things that you eat. It's also in how you
Mm.
take care of, say, your parents or the community. It's also about how you don't harm, other things or people. And it's about your studies and things of that nature. And so as far as the 8 limbs go, it's part of it, but how they work in tandem for your well-being is this: when you are in when you are practicing yoga, you have the asana, which are the poses, and then you have your pranayama, which is your breathing. So they work in
Mm.
tandem so when you're going through the asanas, right, your breath and how you breathe has to be in sync with how you are moving, right? And so that's why I
Mhm.
was telling you, breathing from your diaphragm, and then yogic breathing or hatha yoga is in through the nose, out through the nose, because your nose has the filters, right? And
Right.
so that's how you want to go about entering. If you're going to practice, then you want to know those things. Like those are the basics that you want to know. So that's how they work in tandem with you. And then with those movements and the breathing, remember we talked about the vagus nerve? So that's how
Mhm.
you begin to help to align, right? Get back in balance. And then that nerve is going to work. And it's, remember, it's touching every organ. So in yoga, so the twisting, the things that you're doing, like you're opening up your chest cavity, you're twisting organs, you're twisting the spleen, the liver, and the kidneys, and then you're releasing toxins, right?
Mhm.
So that's why once you're you're practicing. You want to drink a lot of water because you want to get rid of those toxins, right?
Mhm.
And so that's how you can just cleanse the body. Cleanse. You can cleanse with the breath. You can cleanse by doing the poses. And so once again, it works. It's a science, and a lot of people think that it's religious, and it's not. Do certain religions practice yoga? Yeah, because it's part of the East. But yoga is not a religion. It's a secular practice. It's a science. And so all the things that I explained to you, we're talking about science, right?
Yes.
Has nothing to do with religion. Now, does and a lot of people don't even know you could be Christian and practice Buddhist
Mhm.
practices, but a lot of people don't know that, you know.
Mhm.
And Paramahansa Yogananda, who brought yoga to, he brought it to West Hollywood. He brought it to the celebrities in 1920, in
Mm.
1920, and he even espoused the a Christianity and talked about being a Christian. But a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that because you don't study it or try to get an understanding of it. A lot of people want to think it's, you know, it's only for this type of group of people, and if you're chanting and breathing and doing these things and, you know, wearing these beads, then you must be either Buddhist or you must be practicing Hinduism, and that's not the case. Although some of that is part of, you know, those religions, but yoga's standalone, you know.
Okay. Well, you educated me because I didn't know all that. I just know when I get to the point where I'm all the way, I just like, look, I need to meditate. I need to do a little bit of yoga. I need
Yeah.
to.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so it's a
So,
beautiful practice. So I recommend it to anybody out there who's wanting to. On Sundays, I do it and from my house, from Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. with a meditation at the end, you know? And so,
okay, is that virtual?
yep, virtual. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna have to join one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I got to join
Mm-hmm.
it. But it is 2021. So, what are your goals for this year?
Girl. For 2021, I am working on a documentary on fathers and daughters. And
Oh,
basically, it's when there is a or a lack of a father in your life as a woman, be
okay.
it emotionally distant or physically distant, how does that translate into your interpersonal relationships from a heterosexual perspective with men, right? And
Okay.
so it plays a big role in that. And so we examine that, and we not only talk to women, we talk to men who may not have been allowed in their daughters' lives. We talk to researchers, we talk to historians, we talk to therapists, and we talk to fathers and daughters who have harmonious and happy, you know, fully functioning relationships as well.
Okay. All
So that's
right.
the big thing, and that's going to be a documentary.
Okay. And when is that going to drop? I know you said it's one of your goals for this year, but
Well, I'm
when do you?
filming. We're in pre-production. I've done some filming, so I've interviewed KRS-One, and Dana is actually on this project with me. Brother Jay from X Clan is also on the project with me. We have a soundtrack that will be accompanied, um, you know, accompanying the documentary, and so we're working. We're working, and my goal is to have it edited and ready to go by December of this year, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to meet it. I already see your passion. You
Yeah.
started it halfway there.
10 toes down. We got to. Yes.
So, out of everything that you do, what has been the biggest challenge for you?
Um, the biggest challenge for me was passing my master's comps. When I got my master's,
Mm,
like that was tough. Like my one of my professors, Dr. Nancy Hunt, she's still a friend of mine. She's asked me the other day, we were talking because she wants me to do this symposium with her that brings parents and children together in this symposium that talks about disabilities and special needs in a positive light, and any success stories that I might have had as an educator working with families that had children with disabilities. And so um, it was difficult because there's a lot of parts to it, right?
Okay.
And not knowing what you were going to be asked, right? And then being able to answer in a way that you're going to pass. So it was very stressful. I remember calling her one time and I was like, Dr. Huh, I don't know what am I supposed to be studying here? Now, mind you, I've always been an A student. Even when I talked about school in my younger years, I've always been an A student. And even in school, um, for with my bachelor's and my master's, always in my AA, I've always gotten like top scores, top grades. But so really nothing to worry about. But then I was just anxious, like this is a lot. There's a lot riding on this. And so she was like, Dana,
Like, calm down. You got this.
have nothing to worry. You will be okay. And I'm like, ah, doctor. And so I just that was hard. That was hard. And it wasn't hard that I didn't know it. It was hard because I didn't know what they were gonna ask me, and if I was gonna be able to, do it. So you're timed, you're sitting there, you have nothing but a flash drive and a computer. That's it. That's all.
Hmm.
Go for what you know.
Well, guess what? You're smart. You had this. You studied, so you had it. It might have been a challenge, but I bet you had to ace everything.
Man, you said that what was the hardest thing. And so I remember I was in the car with a friend, and so it's 3 parts, right?
Mhm.
And they'll email you to let you know, right? And so you can graduate without passing, but you want to pass because you still got to come back. I mean, you can walk. Let me say you
Yeah.
can walk without. And so I was like, I ain't doing that. If I'm inviting my family out, it's gonna be because I have passed, period,
Basic.
point blank, the end. And I remember we went to go get something to eat, and I was on my phone and they had email. And I was scared to check. And I was like, whatever, just clicked it. And it was like, pass, pass, pass. And I was like, ah! She swerved in the car. She was like, what is wrong? I passed. And so that was the hardest thing thus far that I have done. It was more challenging, it was very challenging. Right. And so,
I
yeah.
have only two more questions before I ask you my little trivia questions.
Yeah.
Um, what is a piece of advice that you could give to someone that wants to do the things that you do?
Piece of advice that I would give to anybody out there who wants to do what I'm doing, I would say two things.
Okay.
You have to be self aware. Self awareness is very important because it helps you understand who you are as a person, right? An individual. And it also helps you because you got to interact with other people,
Mhm.
right? So knowing what triggers you, what bothers you, what excites you, what are your desires, what do you care about? Um, and with that self awareness, I would say you need a personal philosophy about life. You need to know what are your core values, what are your principles, because that way, when you're on your hero's journey to get to where you're going and you veer off the path, you remember exactly where you're supposed to be based upon what you said you believe in, what you said you care about, and what you said that you value, your core values that make you you. And hopefully they're about something. So I would say that you really got to do some self-reflection and self-inquiry so that you can understand what it means to be self-aware, so that you can reflect on that. So throughout the journey, you're going to interact with people and you're going to have people that, don't support you, right? For as many people
Mhm.
we talked about that support me, there are people who don't support me. And that's all fine and good. And then you have people who used to support you that don't support you anymore. And that's
That's
still all
true.
fine and good because we can all make choices and, there's consequences to our choices, but whatever. But the last thing that I would say with the self-awareness and then having your personal philosophy about life, you gotta have a goal plan. And as part of my coaching, I have created what I call a 3-step strategic goal plan. It's called the C, Think, and Be. It's a 3-step strategic goal plan that you go in. And on the C page, you kind of get out everything that you want to do, right? Just dream outside the box, bold, abrasive, just brazen, get it all out. And then on the think page, you think about what you've written and how you would formulate 3 of those things into goals. So on that page, you write that. The B page is how do you now take all of this ideation and go to activation? Like, what are you going to do? So that is the task sheet. So it has a spot for you to write down who is in your an accountability partner or a mastermind group. It has a time frame, a reference, because if you're doing anything when it comes to goal setting and you want to follow the SMART goal criteria, then you want to have what it is that you're doing, what resources you need, who's responsible for it, and what is the time frame that you want to complete it. And then you got to stick to it. You got to stick to it. So each one of those goals that you formulated from the C page has to have that page. And then I also have an I am affirmation. So I also make t-shirts, but motivational t-shirts. So I have a t-shirt that says I am. And on the I am page, we all know that I am are 2 of the most powerful words in the English language. For whatever you put after them and affirm, that is what you will be. That is what you will be. And so those 3 goals you want to write in the affirmative, in the present moment, in the now, that you have completed them. I am so happy that I have completed, my PhD. I am so happy that I have created an LLC and I'm buying property and I've got a stat trust and, a contract trust and I'm doing Airbnb. I mean, whatever it is that you are trying to do, I am so happy that I have started, a label and I've got some artists on there, whatever it is, but you write it as if you have already done it. Because one thing about the subconscious mind, it's always on, it's always going, it's literal about everything. And what you tell your mind to do, when you're sleeping at night, it'll set out and try to figure out solutions to make that happen. And so
use those words, because I'm sitting here thinking of I am positive, I am beautiful, I am
exactly.
all the good things we put in front of this. Awesome, I like that. And look at you done threw another gig that you do on there. You got t-shirts, awesome. Exactly. Like, whoa, exactly. Another thing that she does in there.
Another thing, one of my top selling teas is everybody ain't built the same. And so what you asked me, how can they? And also remembering everybody ain't built the same, you got to find out what you're made of so that when you are coming up with your assessment of self and coming up with, a mission, a drive, and your personal philosophy on life, that you realize who you are. Your I am is important. And so how are you built? What you built for? Ask yourself that question on a regular basis, You can't show out if you don't show up.
Amen to that. I love it. I needed to hear those words today.
Most definitely.
But we're going to go into our trivia questions. I got 2 questions for you. They basic questions.
Okay.
So the first one is, what weird food combination do you really enjoy?
What weird food combination? Dang. I know somebody's listening who thinks that I eat a lot. But I don't know. I like jackfruit tacos. I don't know if it's a weird combination. Well, I have to have Hawaiian sweet rolls when I get Panda Express.
Okay.
And I don't
want. Why is that?
I like to dip it and eat it. I guess that's weird. Because most people want to go out for Panda Express for Chinese food, they're not looking for Hawaiian sweetbread. And that would
Okay.
be on a cheat day because I'm not a vegan or vegetarian, but I eat more or less along those lines, right? So I eat very healthily. And so that would be like a cheat day because I love to eat. I like the teriyaki chicken and I like the orange chicken. And I gotta have, if I don't have the Hawaiian sweetbread, I'm going to the store. It ain't gonna be right.
I got you. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You just have to have it.
You know, one of the things in in the story, and I'll go to that page. One of the things we talk about weird food combinations,
Hmm.
and people who know me will get it. That when she stocked her ship to get prepared to sail out, you see that?
Hmm.
That's broccoli.
I can see it.
There's lavender lemonade and
Mm.
strawberry cupcakes. So these are all things that I used to eat and drink like 90 going west.
Okay.
So I
All
used
right.
to steam broccoli and I would eat that like for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Just that was it. Just broccoli, 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 broccoli. I have a my old hairdresser, he calls me broccoli Fikes. You know, my last name. He would, hey broccoli Fikes. And then my nickname, Dana Mac, I have a friend who would call me D Brock.
They just got you all the
Right, right. 'Cause I'm telling you,
names.
Cece, I would go to the grocery store and I'd buy like 8 bags of broccoli, just 8 bags of
Wow.
broccoli, and then end up having a strawberry cupcake like afterwards. Like, who does that? You know?
Yeah, you are eat healthy, but then you have to go and get your sweets. I got
And right,
you.
right. And then my cousin, he has a restaurant here in LA, and his wife would make lavender lemonade, and I had never had that before. And she would use
Mm.
like real lavender, like she would boil the flowers and turn purple or whatever, and she would, we would make our own lemonade there. And so those were the things that would just really make my heart. So that would
Okay.
be a weirder food combination right there. That's weird.
Okay.
And so
And the
you'll get
second
it. Like when
question,
you read the book, you'll get it now. You're like, oh, oh.
I'm gonna get it as soon as so I can read it. Because when you talk about it, you'd be like anxious to say, okay, now I gotta go and read this book.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly, exactly.
so the second question is, if you could pick anybody to narrate your life, who would you choose, and what would you think they'd say about yourself?
If I could pick anybody,
Hmm. To narrate your life.
shit, I'm picking Jigger. My folks.
And what you think they would say?
He would have all, he was like, shit, he, like the way she shine is like $1 zillion light bill. Get my M's on. Man, oh my goodness. He would use American Gangster, one of his songs, as the backdrop. And then,
Okay.
you know, um, Imaginary Player would have to come in after that. Politics as usual. Um, yeah. The whole Reasonable Doubt soundtrack will have to be playing. Period. I've been rocking with Jigga since 1995, right? I bought the cassette for Reasonable Doubt. I mean, cassette, right?
Hmm.
Then I bought the CD because that came out, and that one had a gun on it, right? And then I burnt that out. I bought it again. So I have purchased Reasonable Doubt like 6 times on CD. So now it doesn't have the gun anymore. It has him, with his hat,
And
and
stuff
the
like
suit.
that.
Right, right, right. And so he's the only artist I have everything that he's ever made, everything. So that would be the person who would narrate my life. Shout out to Beyonce for winning a Grammy. Uh,
I know. Awesome and shout out. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
so yeah, love him, and it's Brooklyn all day. One of the other jokes in the book, the name of her ship is Brooklyn's Own. Brooklyn's Own.
Oh.
And so I have a lot of friends from Brooklyn, and I tell everybody I'm from Brooklyn. As you know, that's not a truism, but I just rock with the vibe, and I love it. I'll do
Hey.
so all day.
Look at it all connecting your book and all connecting again.
Yep. And so those who read it are like, oh my God, Dana, did you put that in here? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. There you go.
I love your energy. I really do.
Thank you.
But before we get off, just tell everybody where they can follow you.
You can follow me on all social media platforms at Dana, Dana Mac, Macc. My website, www.danamac.com. And I have two Instagrams. So one, I'm a little bit more playful. That's IDMAC, IDMACC. But you can follow me on both. But if you're up for silliness and a lot of fun, because on the business side, I keep it real business and professional. But on the ID Mac, we get a little silly, a little playful, you know.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'm gonna go follow both pages.
yeah, I'll follow you too, CC. And then the book again is on Amazon. It's on Barnes. It's at Barnes and Nobles. It's at Romans, and headed to Target. The ebook will be on Apple and Walmart. So, and thank you for having me in your space.
Yes, and I'm sorry you had to miss my co-host because he is so dope. But we'll bring you back on again once I read the book and once I can talk about it and everything. Definitely bring you back on so you can meet my co-host. I hate that he had to miss it because he's so dope. Mickey Monday is his name. But yes, and I want to say thanks for being on our platform. I enjoyed you. You are so fun.
And for all of your listeners, if they go to my website, they can get that strategic goal plan that I talked about. They can get it for free.
Okay.
You just got to download it. Yep.
Okay.
If you go to danamac.com and you look at 3-step strategic goal plan, they can get it for free.
Gotcha. Well, you continue your grind and happy 2021. I wish you much success and everything. I know it's coming for you because you're going in all the right directions. So, and you gain a fan. You gain a fan here.
Thank you, Cece. And I do much love and light to you, and success and abundance to you as well.
All right. Well, you have a happy Tuesday. Be blessed and be safe.
Happy Tuesday. Peace and blessings. Bye bye.
All right.